water in their fridge by any chance?
That's tea.
I'm gonna see if there's any.
Waiting for Jean to sit down.
It's gonna cost you a whole half a minute. And it was for naught, there's no water. Okay, I was thirsty. Okay, all right, now you. Start. Ready, set, go.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting of the Palmyra-Eagle Area School District School Board to order at 7:03. Could we have the roll call?
Michael Eddy.
Here.
Tara Leroy.
Here.
Doris Parsons.
Here.
Jean Reith.
Here.
Mitzi Rashewski.
Here.
Zachary Rakowski.
Here.
Christiana Williams.
Here.
We do have a quorum. I'll read the district mission statement. To ensure that students excel with intellect and virtue, inspired by innovative educators who engage and challenge each individual. Would you all join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. A second. There you go.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda's approved. Public comment. I do not believe we got anything in on email, and we don't have any people here. So we'll go to board monitoring, which we have a few things that we're looking at putting on the August meeting. I don't believe we have anything on this meeting, so we'll skip again to committee reports. Public Relations Committee met June 15th. Tara?
PR met on June 15th. We had updates from our PR coordinator, the district newsletter, and I just got an update from her today. They got a little behind with some technical difficulties, but that should be going to the, is at the printer and should be going out direct mail to households very soon. We discussed the promotion of the greenhouse fundraising. Carrie Tim was making some final edits to the greenhouse brochure to comply with our branding guidelines before sending it out to the community for donation solicitations and information about the greenhouse. We talked about promotional materials at community events. For example, the monthly farmers market, the Chamber of Commerce has tables there, and we're invited always to put anything related to the district out there to share with the community. Website updates. Caitlin is working on adding information on our Tech Ed CTE program there. So she's going to be working with our shop teacher to get that page updated with information. And just having that information updated would actually make us eligible for some grant opportunities that we had missed this prior year just because we weren't accurately promoting the work that is being done here already. So that's a big thing. We did go back and talk about, we had received the great donations from Memmer of the donated ovens, and Caitlin is supposed to be working with the science teachers to put together a plan to promote and acknowledge those ovens once they're in place and in use. So we want to make sure to thank the community for great donations like that. Back to school promotions, we discussed that. Also, the band program has the Play It Again drive for the used band instruments. Caitlin is, there's flyers all over, I know, on that, and she did some stuff on the district Facebook page and website. She's also putting together a piece to put into the newspapers to hopefully get more band instruments donated for that program. I know I had talked to the band director over the weekend, and he had said he's gotten a handful of instruments donated, but not too many at this point, so we would like to help get the word out. Working on branding guidelines for community solicitation of funds and making sure that anything that goes out representing the district is consistent in nature and how the materials are presented, whether it's how the logos are used and the colors. There's like 100 different shades of purple we discovered. So, you know, Tracy and Caitlin were going to be kind of working together to make that a much better and consistent look for everyone to use across the board. And then we also talked about honoring Lakeland Coach Lines for all the wonderful work that they have done for decades and decades. And Caitlin is going to be putting something together, and we'll do a nice thank you, recognizing and showing appreciation for all their years of service to the district. And last but not least, you know, Caitlin and Tracy talked about putting together a marketing plan and timeline for the coming school year. And we discussed regular items that we can plan ahead of time and know, things such as the newsletters, district brochures. I know Caitlin's working with UW Whitewater to try and get our district video updated. The promotional video we have is quite old at this point, so it'd be nice to get that updated. And that's pretty much about it. Our next meeting is scheduled for July 28th at 5:30.
Thanks, Tara. HR, Jean.
Shelley was there to discuss the benefits. It was completed this year with no problems, no issues, a minor increase. We discussed the proposed pay increases for non-teaching staff. Everyone, there was some confusion surrounding it, so it was decided that what we're going to do is review everything and starting for and propose something going into 22-23 school year. Discussion regarding frontline central electronic employee records. Shelley's obtaining more information, doing a cost analysis for that. There's a lot of positive reasons to do that, to enable Shelley to do some other things that could affect the district, and it'll come later in the grant area. Todd is working on the org chart. The discussion was about renting and maybe a potential Montessori school or something of that nature, Palmyra Elementary School, and then also the discussion about the right proper functioning of who can and has time to follow up on grants and pursue those things, which is one of the reasons maybe we are pursuing the electronic employee records. That would free up some of Shelley's time. And then fundraisers and workflow, what the right approach is for people, everybody, all the groups, in terms of fundraising and how that should be worked through. And that was it. And the meeting is it supposed to be for this week? But we pushed it, right? Didn't we change it? We have to discuss that later. All right.
Yeah, so we're thinking it would be next week or.
Yeah, I remember we had it set and then I thought we changed it.
All right, thank you. Curriculum policy met yesterday. Christiana?
We did. So we discussed and basically reviewed the special education handbook for the 22-23 school year. That is on the board tonight. We discussed the academic standards for the 22-23 school year. Those were reviewed and moved to the board for tonight. We continued our discussion on quarantine timeframes. Carrie's going to work something up and bring it back to curriculum and policy for the August meeting, and then we'll go from there. We discussed a little bit more about the diesel programming. Basically, Todd and Tammy are working with WCTC to kind of figure out what fits with our district and what we can do for our kids. We talked about summer professional development, and they're all set, ready to go. Actually, half of our admin team is missing tonight because they got on a plane at noon. And all the August meetings are set. Lucy Calkins will be in August. But basically, it's coming together and going smoothly. Lastly, we discussed a foundational reading skills pilot. This will be applied at the elementary school for the K through third grade, and so we already use Lucy Calkins as that base, and we're going to continue to. But Katie's looking to pilot this, which is it's called Really Great Reading, and so that is going to then just basically overlap and kind of fill in some of the gaps where Katie and the rest of the team kind of felt like we were maybe missing something. So that's going to be the pilot starting in the fall. And that was it.
Yeah, really great reading. So it's going to replace what we don't have really great.
It was a really great meeting.
It was a really great meeting.
It fills in all of those gaps.
Really great.
It's really great.
Buildings and Grounds met tonight, Michael.
Okay, so we did meet this evening. We went through and reviewed our custodian staffing. We have one retirement that is planned. It sounds like we're going to make an offer to one full-time employee, and we're still looking for a part-time employee. The standby generator repair is planned to be completed in the last Tuesday of the month, so we'll keep an eye on that. Roof repairs for the summer. They haven't gotten in contact with a roof consultant, so we're gonna propagate that to move forward and maybe look at some options. The circulation pumps at Eagle Elementary were completed. The high school, middle school weight room upgrade recommendation. Sounds like we're moving forward and with a lot of different aspects of that, equipment, mats, et cetera. Sounds pretty positive. The Palmyra Elementary readiness report progress. Things are being lined up for that to be completed, and we're going to look for a completion date on that. The 22-23 capital expenditure plan, recommending a possible working session for that. And then lastly, we had a discussion around the special education van. Our recommendation was just to let it go. So that's all we had.
Great, thank you. Finance Committee also met tonight, Betsy?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, we did. We had very few questions regarding vouchers. We do have on tonight's action items a proposal for budget variance adjustments. Our budget is looking quite very, very good. It's in a good light. We had a update that HR had taken club stipends to the administrative team to have them review and come back to HR, and then it'll come back through finance. As Michael said, in Buildings and Ground, talking about budget forecasting, we also discussed having the workshop, which we think is important. We also discussed the special education van and the next steps, and we concur that we should just sell it and insurance should be removed. We agreed and support the administrative team going with Frontline Central electronic records for our employees. We think that's a valuable investment and will save a lot of time for some of our employees. There's proposed school fees on the action items, and we recommend approving those. There's minimal changes, but your kids better clean out their lockers and turn their paperwork in. We also looked at the fact that there won't be free lunches and free breakfasts this next year, so we are going back to very similar rates that we had 2 years ago, and they are very similar to surrounding school districts. So that came before the Finance Committee, and that's what we discussed.
Great. Thank you very much. Administrator reports. There was one in your board packet, and that was from our athletic director, which was just very good, positive things. A recap of our spring sports, and actually I thought he did a very nice job letting us look forward to next year with what we've got to look forward to, because it seems like we're retaining a lot of kids and it's going to be great. So that was good. We have two other administrators here if you guys would like to have a report.
So there are lots of exciting, fun things happening at Eagle this summer, very positive. We welcomed the concrete workers to come out and locate the spot for our Gaga pit, and got that all approved, so that will be being poured here hopefully in the next 14 days. So we were able to find one and use our funds that were donated by our generous PTO donation and our student council to be able to fund that, so that was an exciting opportunity. We had some teachers come in for volunteer opportunities to work on handbook and discipline committees on their going. Like was mentioned earlier, some of our staff, our committee is going up for Avid Training right now, driving up to Minnesota and starting that this week. A lot of our other committees are getting together and starting their planning for the summer. We have Lucy Calkins training coming up end of the month, at the end of the month for our curriculum training for all of our teachers for teaching reading through elementary and middle. And yeah, at this point, we're just kind of getting staffed for next year and kind of getting all of our dates for everything, for meetings and all of that set for next year, and that's kind of where we're at. We're still currently only losing 6 students district-wide who have withdrawn at this time. And 2 is because they've moved to a different location and they are no longer eligible to be our students. And the other 4 have siblings in different districts, so they were what I call anticipated moves. So compared to 2 years ago when we had about 75,
Yeah.
I think it's a
Take
very
that.
and we're getting new families, just got a new family today, 3 more people,
Nice.
so.
And
Bringing
your,
some new to the area, which is
your staff retention is looking quite good.
much better than the last 2 years. Nice, come on. Yes, right now, regular education for elementary has had 0% resignation turnover, so.
Wow.
We're gonna
That's-
we're gonna hold it together.
That's a cheering thing.
Staff together.
No, that's great, thank you. Okay, can we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I would move to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I just think it's fabulous that the middle school student council is so on top of everything, that they have it all laid out, and they're going to raise a lot of money.
Tammy Anderson works very hard. She's such a huge asset to our middle school.
Tammy and they go above and beyond, yes.
Yeah.
But it's so great, they have it just all so planned out. It's very nice.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Action items. Action item A, can we have a motion to consider approving the PEASD Student Academic Standards Notice for 22-23?
I'll make a motion to consider approval of the PEASD Student Academic Standards Notice for the 22-23 school year.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Action item B, need a motion to approve the 21-22 School Health Annual Report.
I'll make a motion to consider to approve the 2021-2022 school health annual report.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. C, we need a motion to approve the proposed 21-22 budget variance adjustments.
I move to approve the proposed 21-22 budget variance adjustments.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Discussed pretty much at finance. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. D, motion to approve the proposed 22-23 school fees, which was also discussed at finance.
I would move to approve the proposed 22-23 school fees.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. E, we need a motion to approve the 22-23 Special Education Staff Handbook that was discussed at Curriculum Policy.
I'll make a motion to consider approval of the 22-23 Special Education Staff Handbook.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. District Administrator and Business Managers Report.
Well, I covered some of it earlier in discussing the Montessori program, but the organization it's an extension of University of Wisconsin, and they do go out and typically they do non-instrumentality charter schools, but I think they might be open to an instrumentality charter school, mostly because with a non-instrumentality or private school, you're raising your own money. There can be no financial support from the district, and then of course the students the students in the charter school don't get counted in the regular public school district. Plus we own the building as well. So It might be a little bit of a push there, but I think we can get it done, because apparently they've been looking for a year or two to find a Montessori, a spot for a Montessori charter. So we'll go in that direction. But at this point, we'll just see where things go. But I think even if they don't do it, we proceed with our own. We do have some experts in the area who would love to help us out with it. So one way or another, this next year will be a big year in trying to get that off the ground. So, and we could go magnet school, or we could go charter school. The advantage of charter is there is some federal dollars available, but there's also a lot of strings attached to it. So we may have to decide which direction we want to go in. But either one are viable options at this point.
And exciting options for our district. And
Yeah.
so
Well, I
often
think,
people come in.
you know, first of all, I think our trend of student staying or coming back is good, but I think this is going to be a very positive factor for people maybe who have opened and rolled out to come back, because it's going to be a unique opportunity that students in Waukesha go to a private Montessori and they pay upwards of $9,000 a year to attend there. Could even be more. I mean, that was a couple of years ago. So I think, you know, if people are willing to put that much money and effort into it, then it's got to be a good opportunity. So hopefully we can bring that opportunity here.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Dr. Gray? Brad, you
Just
have
a couple of things for me. One, in regards to the bus transportation, we actually just utilized Dallasman for our first time for Quentin Kaufman, who's our high school football coach. He brought, I think, about 20, 25 kids that he needed to utilize a bus, and they were able to pick him up right away. And their the customer service was unbelievable. I actually made sure that they were going to be arriving, and they responded to me within 5 minutes to make sure that we had their bus. So moving forward, that's good for us. The other thing that I want to talk about or reference was the weight room in the community utilizing that. We are in full swing of that with Quentin. We have in double digits with people that are utilizing the weight room, which is good for us, and we look forward to continue to make upgrades to that weight room. So that's all I got. Yep. Yeah.
any announcements or board comments?
I have a report I sent each. It's, sorry. So I did attend that. I forwarded it to, I believe, even Dr. Gray, Brad, Ryan as well, because it is kind of frightening to think that school districts can be victims of those atrocious acts and what it can mean for our students, in particular our youngest students, because it can go undetected for possibly 14 years of a student's life, that their Social Security number, their personal information can be used. So that was something that I attended. It was also a very nice experience to share with the surrounding districts, and they were other board members. And one of the districts to our south and one to our west was like, oh, so how are things going in Palmyra-Eagle? And I was like, oh, you know, it's going really well. And they were happy for us, but a little bit green with envy, because things are going so well here. Our vocational education program is attracting attention of our district to the west, and they were almost salivating at some of the things that are going on in our district. So that was quite refreshing and really interesting to be there with other school board members and have them know our story and be interested and, just be a little bit jealous of us. The other thing that I had the opportunity recently to do was Alice Baker Library asked me to do a bedtime story for their Facebook bedtime story. So I read The Pokey Puppy. And if you would like to see me, you can look it up. And I'm proudly wearing my purple t-shirt with the heart of PE. So I just thought I'd share that.
I'm thinking we should show a video of that. Right? On the screen.
It's like 9 minutes. I did not realize that the Pokey little puppy was 9 minutes, but it is.
He's hokey.
Thank you, Mitzi. Anyone else? I just want to acknowledge, again, I wasn't able to go, but last Sunday, the band had that car wash and then people come and play. I don't know, did you play?
Tara spent a lot more time there than I did. But
Okay.
I came down and helped her clean up.
That's just so awesome and
Tara
amazing.
spent the whole 4 hours.
That's such a fun thing, and the kids love it, people come, and I don't know, I
There
just
were
like
people that
acknowledging
would
that.
drive in and they would pull up and they'd be like, it's too early for a brat and I don't need my car washed, but here's $20. Or, like.
Yeah, I didn't want my truck washed, so I just gave it. I had to do it last year.
Didn't go up.
Yeah, that's much of a wash as it is.
There's no quality control, is what you say.
You had to redo it and you got it.
Small town school community that's something like that.
And the kids washed each other very well.
Yes, I did notice they were doing a good job.
Yes, they were very glad. They had fun.
Alrighty, listed on your agendas, upcoming meetings and events. We are going to talk later after this meeting to figure out when HR is going to be. So that one will not be tomorrow. The other meetings are correct. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Meeting's adjourned at 7:31.
Wow. Record.